What's up everyone? Today we are making maple cookies, a recipe inspired by Canada and their love of maple syrup. It's a delicious recipe, it's perfect for this time of the year, and I'm going to show you how to make it step by step. Welcome to the Four & Fork Kitchen. My name is Alexandria and this is the Four & Fork, where I'm cooking one meal from every country in the world. This recipe might be from Canada. It's inspired, I think, by Canadian maple syrup and Canada's love for maple syrup. So today we're going to be making maple cookies. They're sugar cookie and they use oat flour too, so it gets a kind of nice oat maple fall feel that I absolutely love. So the first thing that you're going to need to start this recipe is 1 full stick of butter, or a ½ cup, and you want it to be mostly melted. So there'll be some chunks of butter in there, but you want a lot of it to be melted. And then you're also gonna add in 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Okay, then we're gonna use our electric hand mixer to cream these together. All right, next we're gonna crack 1 egg into this mixture, and then we're gonna use our electric hand mixer and beat it again. Make sure that you're beating your egg until it's only just combined. You don't wanna overbeat your egg with your electric hand mixer, or else your cookies are gonna get kind of stiff. Now's where the fun stuff starts to happen. So the first thing that we're gonna add in here is 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. This maple syrup I got that my friend brought me back from Vermont, so it's the real deal. I would recommend using pure maple syrup if you can find it. It doesn't have to be from Vermont, but it's a lot better to use the pure maple syrup like you would have in Canada, as opposed to the more processed kinds that you would get in the American grocery stores. Next I have 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and then we use maple extract flavoring. If you want a really mapley cookie flavor, then you would use a teaspoon of the maple extract. I sometimes go somewhere in the middle, so I use about 3/4 of a teaspoon, but all of those are options depending on your preference. We're gonna beat again. Again, we don't wanna overbeat because we don't want our egg to stiffen, so we're gonna beat until just combined, and then we're gonna put in our dry ingredients. So this is the last round of ingredients we're gonna put in. I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and then 1 cup of oat flour. Now, if you don't have oat flour, that is fine. I actually don't have oat flour either, so I'm gonna show you how you can make oat flour instead of going and buying some expensive package. Most of you will probably have old-fashioned oats in your pantry already. This is what I'm gonna use to make my oat flour. So I have 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. Sometimes I use whole wheat, sometimes I use normal. I think these are the normal kind. The last batch I made, I used whole wheat. And I'm gonna put it in my blender. Put the lid on, and then all I need to do is blend it up. This always takes me forever to get. Okay. That's it, oat flour. So you didn't have to buy a package. It took literally 10 seconds, and now you have oat flour to finish up this recipe. And now all you need to do is mix it up. So this maple cookie recipe doesn't hail directly from Canada. However, I would keep saying it's inspired by Canada because, as we mentioned, the Canadians love maple syrup. They love maple syrup so much, in fact, that there is a reserve of maple syrup to ensure abundant supply in case there's ever a shortage. So if there's any country that's gonna make maple cookies, it would be Canada. Okay, so now it's time to scoop this dough into cookies. So I'm using a 1.5 inch cookie scoop, and it's gonna make about 32 cookies. So I'm gonna put 16 on this ungreased cookie sheet, and then 16 more on a second ungreased cookie sheet. Because they're so small, these only take maybe about 10 minutes to bake, which means it's a really quick recipe. I don't know about you guys, but I love when you can just make cookie dough, scoop it into cookies, and then be able to bake it right away. I'm not a big fan of having to let my dough chill in the fridge or anything like that, so I love that this recipe is really quick. Also, believe it or not, this is one of the recipes on my blog that I am the most proud of. Testing baking recipes is really difficult and it can take a long time because it all comes down to a very specific chemistry. And so when I was developing this recipe, I made this cookie recipe 5 different ways, 5 different times to test. And this is what I ended up with as my favorite, and I am so pleased with it. So I'm sure that when you taste them, you're gonna be able to taste all of the love that went into them too. Now that your cookies are scooped, all you need to do is bake them in the oven. So my oven is preheated to 375 degrees, and I'm gonna bake each batch of cookies for about 10 minutes. And there we go, delicious cookies fresh out of the oven. All right, I let my cookies cool for about 10 minutes before I take them off of the sheet, or else they'll kind of fall apart when you do that. And now I have a cute little mini cookie that I'm very excited to try. They almost taste like a dessert version of that maple and brown sugar oatmeal packs that you can get. They are delicious. They remind me of fall and coziness in the snow, and I am so happy with how these cookies turned out after all of that testing. I can't wait for you to make them at home too. If you want the full written instructions, you can visit the link in my bio, and then don't forget to check out all of the other recipes on my site from countries around the world, including and especially the other 2 Canadian recipes that we have here for Canadian butter tarts and Canadian Christmas fruitcake. You are going to love them. They are all great for the holidays, and so you need to go try them all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week, you guys. Bye.